Constance.
Yeah, it's CC, CEO. Wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
What up? What up? What up? What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter. And guess what? It's Tuesday, and I am so excited. I'm so excited. You guys come on in, because me and my friend, we're going to have some good dialogue with you today. What's happening? So as you know, if you come on here every day, you already know that I want to welcome you in. And if you want to get notified every time I come live, I need you to text Constance to 87948. Okay, so please, my thing is looking. Please text my name to 87948 so that you can get notified when I come live. I know we're a couple of minutes late. Me and my girl was checking in, so we just, we had to chop it up for a minute. You know who I'm talking about, my friend Miss Tiara. But before I even bring her on, I do want to tell you to welcome. I do want you to make sure that you put in the comments where you are watching from, because we like for you to we like to shout you out. Because we know that we got people that are watching from all over the world. Hey, Miss Sophia, I got your text message. You said you didn't know if we were coming. We were just a little bit late because we were just yapping our jaws. But thank you for coming on. Where are you from, Miss Sophia? And everybody else who's watching, who's coming in, where are you watching from? Because we want to shout you out. What's up? What's happening? Where you at? Where you watching from? We want to shout you out. That's number one. Number two, let me adjust my seat. Number two, we know that it's imperative that we practice collective economics. Okay. That is a core principle, especially in this political climate. That's very important. So if you have a business, if you have a product or a service, put it in the comments. Put what the name of your business is, what you do, where people can find you. That way we can shout you out on here. And if somebody is looking for a Black-owned business that's doing a particular service, they can go to you. So this is actually free advertisement to you, because you know what? Even, I don't know where you're watching from, but we typically have thousands of people that are watching us live. And so if you put your business on there, this could be exposed to thousands of people. So this is free advertisement for you. So put that in the comments box for us so that we can know, because we want to be able to build Black businesses. We look to ourselves first. Okay. So I know we have people that watch from Canada to the United Kingdom to Chicago, Detroit, DC, California. So put that in the comments. What's up, Sharonda from Vallejo, baby? What's happening? Who is that? That's watching from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Cindy. One of my favorite shows of all time is what? I know you already know they're in Scranton. I want you to put that. Because you know what I'm talking about. One of my favorite sitcoms is from Scranton. Sophia is from Stockton. So today, y'all, we are we're gonna, it's so hard to not talk about the political climate. It is extremely hard. I want to talk about other stuff because I'm sick of talking about politics, but there's so much out there that comes every single day. Yep, Sharonda, you already know The Office. That's my favorite. I love my favorite show. Scranton, yes, crazy, silly. But there's something that's happening every day. It's some foolishness going on in the White House every day. There's a new development every day. And I really, me and Tiara, we tired of, we like share stuff with each other all day. And it's like a sensory overload because we're sick of it. But we do think there are things that need to be discussed. We do believe that Black people need to know certain things about what's going on. And there's so much information. And what we really do is we really research to try to figure out how we can decipher through all of this bullshit, but also how to make it work to our benefit. Like, what can we do? Because at the end of the day, we're going to talk politics. We're going to talk shock. We're going to talk health. We're going to talk wealth. We're going to talk all of that stuff. But we're going to also talk solutions. Okay. So I want to bring my good girlfriend, my co-host, the one, the only, the lovely, the, shit. Let's get it. See, what I was telling Tiara before she came on here, I said, she's coming here with a red lipstick, looking all good. She's lucky that I'm not a jealous person, because if I was, I'd be like, you know what, you really, she come on here every day trying to outshine, but I'm not a jealous person.
Never.
It's cool. You actually are inspiring me, Tiara, because you've been on this weight loss journey. I've been on a weight gain journey. I mean, this shirt I got on right now is like, asking me, "Are you serious?" Because it didn't fit like this before. I'm like, this whole little outfit I got on right now it ain't what it don't look like what it did when I bought it, but it's okay because I am taking action today. I'm changing my life today.
Listen, we in the gym.
Yes.
Both we in this gym and we in that gym. But it ain't just about the gym, because you good about going to the gym. It's what you put in your mouth constantly.
Every day. I went to the gym. So a friend of mine, he told me, he sent me this a couple years ago. He was like, look, because I called him. I was like, listen, I got to get a boot camp or something. He said, I didn't told you, I sent you this 3 years ago. I had to go search for it. He was like, print it out, put it on your desk, and do the damn. He said it's like this. It's a chemical thing. I don't know. It's something. He said it's gonna get my mind right and my body right and tight and all of that. Because I'm looking at myself. So what had happened was, Tiara, this what happened.
First of all, I think you're beautiful. First of all, let me just say that before we get to like, the criticizing, being uber critical of ourselves, I just want to say that. Now continue.
Okay. Well, I'm striving. Thank you. Okay. So I was taking a shower, and then my mirror faces the shower, and I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I was like, oh yeah, this don't look like I want it to look. So I was like,
it ain't
giving, nah. So it just motivated me because I hadn't been motivated. I go to the gym, but you drink coffee with creamers. Like I got to just make a whole lifestyle shift. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't believe resolutions.
And she might be in here. If it wasn't for our good girlfriend, Marlo Layson, one of the queens from Fly Nubian Money, going on this, like, she's going on a bodybuilding journey. She wants to qualify for a bodybuilding contest and go from literally 0 to 100 from January 1st until like April or May. And so I was like, you could transform in 4 months. Can you do that? Can you do that? 5
months?
She
transformed in like weeks. Because when I came on her and I was like, Margot's looking like her face was looking real chiseled. I didn't see her body, but I was like, she's looking beautiful today. And I had no idea until afterwards you guys were talking about it. I was like, wow.
Yeah. So I just went ahead and I said, well, what you eating, sis? And so that's been the
you've been supposed to be sending me that thing for weeks. So I'm glad I got my friend that did it.
I'm sorry. I be stressed out in California to listen. But yesterday she announced that she's doing 10,500 sit-ups. So with that by May 25th or something like that.
Yeah.
So that equates to 100 sit-ups a day. So that's easy, right?
Are they crunches or are they sit-ups?
I mean, sit-ups and crunches. You just gotta work that core.
Okay. 100 or 150?
100 a day.
I'm okay.
So this morning I woke up, I did my first 50, and then later I'm gonna do my second 50.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have some abs. Break it together. I got a midriff top on right now, but listen.
Let's go.
I'm about to be looking like not Bianca. Did you Kanye's wife at the Grammys?
Oh no, I didn't see her.
Oh, she was completely naked. Did y'all see her? She didn't have no clothes on.
Oh.
But I'm not gonna be naked. I'm not gonna be looking like Bianca. I'm just saying I'm gonna have a real midriff shirt on here on this show. Let me get some abs.
I told my friend, I was like, look, when I lose this weight, we're not gonna be friends no more. So make sure you notice the last time you might be seeing me, because we're not gonna be friends. Anyway, girl, let's get to it.
Okay.
What do you think that's been going on? Just the last 24, because we can't even look at the whole 10, 15 days. We have to really segment this by day, because everything, there's just a shit show of a development. Like, what do you think about what's been going on?
You know what's so interesting this morning? Because Dr. Boyce Watkins also sends me a lot of things. I don't know if it's in here, but it was so interesting. I sent it to you. But it was basically like in the last 2 weeks, let's see. This is how the right wing is thinking, right? And I was like, okay, in the last 2 weeks, Mexico caved, Panama caved, Colombia caved, Venezuela caved, Canada panicking, mass deportations, hostages are home, DEI programs ended, bureaucracy slashed, FBI purges are underway, U.S. aid funding canceled, gender ideology eliminated, DOGE already saved billions. 51 intel agents lost clearance. Border crossing dropped by 93%. Reservoir filled up in California. Just to name a few developments.
So they're saying these are all of Trump's successes that he's had in just 10 short days.
Yes, this is him making America great again. So I just, it's all on at this point, it's all perspective. I'm seeing that I mean, what we're looking at and panicking, there are really other people like, this is great.
Celebrate
great.
Well, here's what some of the political, I would say, analysts are saying.
According to the White House press secretary, quote, Canada is bending the knee just like Mexico. Is that what's happening here?
This is hilarious to me because Trump got rolled by both of these countries, and no one, least of all Trump, seems to have realized it. Both the leaders of Mexico and Canada have agreed to do what they have already been doing. It's just that Trump didn't seem to know about it. Like, for example, the president of Mexico said that she would commit to having 10,000 troops at the U.S.-Mexico border. Guess what? There are already 15,000 people there, military troops from Mexico there, and have been there for years. Trump didn't seem to notice this. Same deal with Canada. Prime Minister Trudeau said, aha, we're going to spend $1.3 billion on investing in border security. Guess what? They announced that $1.3 billion last year. Oh, but they're also going to have a fentanyl czar, and they're going to have 24/7 eyes on the border. This is about saving face, I guess. I don't know if nobody informed Trump that there are no actual concessions here, but that will, of course, not stop him from claiming victory.
And he's already having some success with these strategies. If you look at what he did with Colombia, if you look at what the news was over
Nothing happened with Colombia
He took the
either.
people.
Mexico,
If you look,
Canada.
They were taking deportation flights.
I love this show.
No.
This is my favorite show. It's
Because
called
you're lying.
Let's All Scream at
No,
Scott.
it's called informing our audience.
Part of the
Let's
same
go
thing.
back to what Trump got for threatening a 25% tariff on Mexico and Canada. What did he get?
On
Scott?
Mexico, he got a permanent set of troops, not temporary, just during surges. He got permanent troops. And on Canada, let me tell you what he got. Let me tell you what he got.
You cannot just, hold up, you can't just like insert your own qualifications into this. Where does it say that it's permanent?
The White House told me tonight that the commitment they have from Mexico is that they will
Do you
put
know how
permanent
many
troops on the
troops Mexico had on the
it goes up
border
and down.
last
It goes
year?
up and down.
15,000.
It goes up and down. It's temporary.
15,000.
So now they're getting
Okay,
a
let me ask
permanent
you:
force.
Is 10,000 more
Is
or
permanent-
less
is permanent
than
better than temporary?
15,000?
You know what's
permanent
more?
better
You know
than
what's
temporary.
more?
Trump is trying to repackage the status quo as a victory. That's what the leaders of these foreign countries are learning. You don't actually have to give Trump anything.
You just have to make it seem like
you have
he's
to let
getting
him
something.
announce victory on TV. Second of all, it's not actually back to the status quo. It is worse than the status quo. As Richard points out, we have tarnished our relationships with our allies whose help we need to rein in China, which I know you care about. Beyond that, think about the additional uncertainty that's being added to the business environment right now. If you are a company and you don't know if tariffs are coming or they're not coming, you don't know if your input costs are going to go up or they're not going to go up,
That's true.
why would you invest? Why would you invest in oil pipelines, for example, to Canada? I know you really care about the Keystone Pipeline, for example.
Okay.
So all of those wins that you just mentioned, Tiara, they're just the status quo, it sounds like, that have been repackaged. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's so interesting because that's dangerous for Trump, a man that needs to what I know about Trump is he's a mass marketer. So that fits into what I know about Trump, right? I told y'all I worked on The Apprentice. I've seen I've seen that. I've seen that he's an actor. He just needs to be, his ego needs to be stroked in order for him to feel good. So if that is the case, the 13 billionaires that are in his surrounding him, all they have to do is kind of and say, "Yay, you're doing a good job." Because I know we're going towards Elon. They can actually be running and feeding him information, right? It just means that to me, he can be easily manipulated. All he has to do is be given a cookie, like all he has to do is say, "Good job, you're really making a difference."
When you have somebody that's so drunk with power
Yes.
and the appearance that bow down to me and kiss the ring, all you got to do is say that when somebody who's so ego driven, all you got to do is say, "Okay, you're right. and keep doing what the hell whatever you're doing. And they're happy. Have you ever met somebody like that was just like, so they didn't care what it was. They just needed to be right. They just needed to have that power. That's what Trump is.
Yes, I work in Hollywood. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. There's a lot of people like that. A lot of these celebrities, I mean, they're just drunk with, they need the validation. They need that, their egos are huge. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it is strange. So then let's travel over to Mr. Elon Musk, because I don't know. I feel like Elon is the one that's running this country, Tiara. I don't feel like Donald Trump. And if you think about, of course, we've examined that this election was bought and paid for. He went and then he traveled over to Pennsylvania to rig the machines. Thank you, Elon Musk, to rig the voting machine so that we can win by a landslide. Because he said all but that. He basically insisted upon that. So we know that Elon Musk, that he owes Elon Musk. So he's coming there within the last 24 hours. And so I don't even know how they're justifying that, but they're locking Congress. So Elon Musk has a staff of people from the DOGE who have no security clearances, who haven't been vetted, but they've been given access
to everything.
To everybody's. And think about this too. Elon Musk gets a lot of government subsidies and government contracts. Right. So now he has advantage over his competitors. It's wild.
Let me tell y'all, in 2020, because this whole, I'm a journalist at heart, right? I went to school for journalism. So of course I'm just like, last night I'm researching. Elon Musk made $70 billion in the last, since Trump has taken, since he's been sworn in, he's made $70 billion. Sit on that for a second. This week, in the last 10 days. So this is about, all the things. I've just noticed the things that he's been doing, and it's really been a long game. He's very strategic in the way that he's approached, the way he's bought Twitter, how he's trying to leverage certain things, how he's trying to have this platform so he can use it to have this, this nationalist language. Like they can have a space to talk to millions of people and use this pro-Trump language, pro-Trump agenda language. I mean, go ahead. We don't got to get into it, but
that's interesting, because the way he's setting it up is that he has access to millions of people, millions of users, so that he can get richer and richer and richer. And so Elon Musk is pro government subsidies, but he's anti-regulation.
Yep, he's
getting all of this money from the government, but he doesn't want to be regulated. So then, when SpaceX was benched, then he campaigned to get the head of the FAA out of his job. So the head of the FAA, he resigned on the day of the inauguration. When you think about all of those things, he's definitely playing a long game, but he's using his power. He is the single most wealthiest person in the world, who's only getting wealthier, who's only getting more power. And Donald Trump is just the puppet, and Elon Musk is the puppet string.
Yep. And I mean, right now he's at, his net worth is officially at $308 billion. So I think under this administration, obviously his assets range over $1 trillion at this point, over $1 trillion. Yeah. So I think that after this administration, he could be the first. He could be the first trillion. He could get to $1 trillion first.
What I don't understand, because I'm in DC and I know a lot of people who have these big security clearances, and they have to do that just to get a regular job. You got to get a security clearance just to get a job working for the Social Security Administration or, other departments. But he's able to bypass all that as a civilian just because Trump gave him this made up entity, and go in there and access all of these people's personal information, not been vetted. None of his people have been vetted, but now they have access, which is just mind blowing. And they're saying, and the people and the Trump supporters are saying this is a win. It's so funny because Brian Shanklin said something about this was welcome to patriarchy, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the heads,
Brian gonna be here.
Brian gonna
hanging from Trump's balls. That's what Brian's gonna do every day.
Brian Shanklin. Yeah. And so, me and Brian was actually chatting yesterday. on he DM'd me on Facebook. So we're chatting yesterday, and I said, "Why I feel like you be trolling." Because he'll like say something positive. I'm like, I feel like you be trolling. He's like, nah, I said, why do you continue to watch us and we talk shit about you? He's like, iron sharpens iron.
Oh, I love that, Brian. You take it on the chin.
He take it on the ball. Probably because we're women, he might not take us serious. Because he said, enter the patriarchy. But it's so funny that the white men that were put in charge said, this is somebody that was just put in charge yesterday. He said, competent white men must be in charge. Yeah. So I think his views are in alignment with yours, Brian Shanklin, because I believe you believe competent white men must be in charge in order to make things work in this country. Yeah.
It's so interesting that the one thing that they can definitely, right, because with DEI, they're unfortunately hiring people that are psychologically insane. What did he say? With DEI, there's nobody capable. Coloreds aren't capable. Us,
coloreds.
If you're any type, you got any type of melanin. If you're brown, if you're black, you're not qualified. You are literally incapable of doing anything according to them. So I just think that's so funny. Also, this whole what I found interesting, Constance, this whole pro-white white men are the victim. It's like the story is insane. Elon is under fire in South Africa because his family benefited so greatly from the apartheid, right?
Yeah.
And so they have land upon land. They are very wealthy. That's how they got their wealth from emerald mining, right? So now South Africa is like, man, we're trying to regulate this. Like, we want to give some of this land back to the people, right? And so, of course, he was like, this is South Africa
racist
on the white people. Can you imagine? Like, this is reverse racism. So they're really like, this reverse racism, and we should award white people that have been discriminated against for DEI is, Trump wanted to give people reparations.
Yeah. That they thought, so in one of my Black History videos that you're going to see, they thought that the runaway slaves there was a thing that runaway slaves had a mental illness. I forget what they called it, right? They would say that Black people who ran away during slavery had a mental illness. That's what they thought of us. If we did not take their abuse, that we have a mental illness. And I think they have this warped, they're like just the crazy. So speaking of Elon, let me just tell you, his family had serious money, and not just any money, but apartheid era South African emerald mine money.
Yes.
That means while Black South Africans were being systematically oppressed, his family was thriving under white minority rule. His father was an engineer and businessman who invested in emerald mines in Zambia in the 80s. And then through apartheid, they controlled land. His father admitted that they had so much money, they couldn't even close their safe. So when Elon Musk left South Africa, his father invested in him. And that's the reason why he said, I'm not the big ideation person, but I got the money. I know how to make connections. I know how to make it happen. Yep. But now Trump is on this thing where now all of a sudden, now South Africa ain't never been in our crossfires, but now all of a sudden we got an issue with South Africa. Let's look at this.
Yeah.
An attempt to resolve one of South Africa's most divisive issues, unequal land ownership. A bill signed last month allows land considered to be in the public interest to be expropriated without compensation in some cases. But it's a step that's led US President Donald Trump to threaten to cut off all funding to the country.
The leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things. So that's under investigation right now. We'll make a determination. And until such time as we find out what South Africa is doing, they're taking away land, they're confiscating land.
The South African government responded swiftly, saying no land's been confiscated.
And this is what this law is about, to transform on a balance, on a just and equitable basis. And we look forward to engagement with our US counterparts.
While the law makes it easier for the government to expropriate land,
Legal guidelines ensure the payment of fair market value and property owners can go to court. Some people are worried the new law will mean their land will be seized by the government. And the spat is playing out on social media platforms like X, where owner and US presidential advisor Elon Musk is accusing the South African government of racist policies. The minority white population owns 3/4 of farming land in South Africa, while black people, who make up 80% of the population, own 1/4.
The original land deal that gave 87% of the land to the whites and 13% to the majority was unjust and wrong, but that you find a way to compensate and to deal with the transition to and one way is to focus on public land.
Previously, in a public address, President Cyril Ramaphosa told Trump to stay out of South Africa's plans for land reform. While the presidency says US aid to South Africa is not significant, Trump's latest comments have had an impact. As soon as Trump said he would cut off funding to South Africa, the local currency, the rand, weakened by more than 1%. Now, stocks and government bonds also took a slump. While there are also concerns existing tariff agreements with South Africa on exports to the US may be affected, President Ramaphosa said he's not worried about relations with the country.
That's why I love to get in the gym every day. I love this. Y'all get some international news.
That's what y'all need to
be
Listen, that's what people need to be looking at. We should not be looking at either, MSNBC is going to be left leaning. Fox News, I definitely don't listen to that shit, Brian Shanklin. Obviously, you just eat a big bowl of Fox News every single day. But look at international news, because not only do you see, a balanced view, I think, of the world, but we know that there are people all over the world protesting Donald Trump right now, which you don't see on our local news.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But let's unpack this whole now all of a sudden. South Africa is in their crosshairs and they're doing illegal stuff and one of the things that the president said was that they're redistributing land for like land use, right? Just like remember we talked about a couple weeks ago how they destroyed all these affluent black communities for urban renewal, for eminent domain. We have to put freeways in here. We got to put parks in here. And you have a minority, I forget what they said, the population, 5%, 10% white, but they have 80% of the land.
Yeah.
But you have 85% of the population with 13% of the, it's just 13%. Something just ridiculous.
Yeah, 13% is wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And they live in these shanty towns and they're impoverished because they've raped their land of emeralds and all of the natural resources that they have in Africa. That's why they pillaged that place and pillaged those people. I remember back in the 90s or the 80s when I was little, during apartheid, when they were protesting, Tiara, I seen something on the news that I've never seen. And I seen them burning someone alive. The apartheid, it was a woman, I think, and she was like, but that's the kind of brutality that they did. Remember when we talked about Mary Turner yesterday? This is the type of brutality that is in these people's DNA.
Yeah.
And this is what we're dealing with. So these are the people who are in charge of you. So for you, Brian Stanklin, to say that, what did he say? He just said something stupid about some transgender shit. Like, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Would we rather have transgender people in charge? What the hell does that have to do with our sovereignty being taken? About a foreigner coming in with that's the reason why they have these security clearances in place, to make sure that our information is safe. This man is in there talking about he saved billions of dollars. He ain't did shit, but shut down the computers. Oh, and let's look at that. Let's look at what he did to USAID. It's sad. Went in there and shut it down, closed computers and fired all the people.
I watched some people get fired and I thought it was just them, and it turned out it was 60 senior people for USAID, and I watched it happen, and that was just absolutely heartbreaking. People who've given decades of their work to this kind of this work. I mean, they've given their lives. And then it kind of went really downhill, and DOGE was in the building. We took down our pride flags. I took out any books I felt would be incriminating. No one was talking. We heard they started taking transcripts automatically of all of our Google Meets. They unplugged the news in the little kitchen galleys. It didn't feel good. And then Friday, we heard that DOGE was here taking down the signs. And then Saturday, all of the websites went down. And then I lost complete access to my computer. My biggest fear is what I think most people who works here, biggest fear is that millions of people are going to stop, getting the aid that we provide with less than 1% of the American, federal budget. It's unconscionable to think that people are dying because our work has stopped, even in the past 12 days. And it will continue to happen. There are people that will go without food. There are people that will go without disaster, recovery assistance. There are farmers who won't get fertilizer for their fields. There are people who will not have lights for their buildings. There are people who won't get vaccinations for basic needs. There are people who won't get HIV care, in the places we do pet bar. And thinking in my heart about all the people around the world who, with so little, relative little investment, have so many positive outcomes.
So you have these people who have no security clearance, and I would have captured the pictures of the people who they have that are over DOGE. They're like just graduated from college.
Yeah.
They just graduated from college. It's crazy. So to have these people come in there, and these people have been working for years, they've dedicated their lives to these jobs, and you say, you know what? You're fired. And then for Trump to come in and say, they're doing despicable things based upon our findings inside DOGE, and we're going to shut down South Africa. We're going to shut down the aid to South Africa because they're doing terrible things, terrible racist things to white people by taking back the 80% of the land that the white people stole. Y'all hear me? That's the thing that so racism is not just exclusive to what happens here. It's the whole African diaspora, as someone said. It is all of us. It is everybody who has this skin tone, this melanin, this hue. They are specifically targeting Black people from all over the world, and you are not exempt. And the moment you think you are, your Black ass is going to find out.
Yeah. I wonder who hurt the baby when he was younger. Like, I know he wasn't liked. I know Elon wasn't liked.
Yeah.
I mean, between him and Trump, I want to know what Mexican stumped on his toe. I want to know what happened. Like, what happened? Like, why do you hate a group of people so much? Or maybe this isn't about that. Maybe this is just about control. I mean, he was also giving, I saw something last night that said DOGE will edit the IRS. Like, how does someone who, like you said, just doesn't have any experience in any of this can come in and audit the IRS? So what Brian is saying, and Brian, what Brian is basically saying is that they have a plan. And I don't think that they do. They're saying that we're going to make America great. We're going to slash. The thing is, we're going to slash this aid. We're going to take this away. And then we're going to build a better infrastructure. But I don't know, being that he made $70 billion I can't trust somebody that made
zero and paid zero in taxes.
And pay zero in taxes. You think that person has your best interest at heart? You think he's about the people? No, I just don't believe that. I don't think that there's a plan.
Brian is, I don't know. Brian is he says he believes in, he has his B1, and he said he believes in the core principles of Dr. Claude Anderson, and he believes, in the things that 19 Keys says and Dr. Boyce Watkins says. But what it sounds to me, and you're saying that you're B1, but this is not B1 behavior. This is not Black first behavior. When you go in and you say, I want to cancel any benefits that are Black, because again, when they talk about DEI, they don't give a damn about it affecting white women. They care about it affecting Black people. And now they're trying to take away the 14th Amendment, which gives us birthright citizenship.
Yeah.
How is that helpful to you, Brian?
Yeah.
I'm interested in knowing.
If they repeal the 14th Amendment, that says that Black people aren't citizens. Like, why would you want
he said they got a plan. He's trusting their plan.
Why would you appeal that type of citizenship? Like, what does that mean?
Right.
So if we're no longer citizens, does that mean that we can be, they could put us back on a boat? Like, Constance, what does that mean exactly? Like, I'm trying to understand where the plan is.
Yeah.
Like, what's the plan?
Well, I want to know, I know the plan is to get rid of your Black ass, but I want to know what someone like Brian saying there's the bigger picture. I want to know what he thinks the bigger picture is, because he's so much smarter than we are. So he knows that these white people have a plan to save his Black ass, but I have no idea what that looks like. But I want to go to a real quick commercial. And it's Constance Carter, your wealth activist, and it is time to get in the gym. The Grow Your Money Club. The Grow Your Money Club is a 12-month comprehensive training where I teach you how to build a sustainable business and go from being an employee to an investor. Go to growyourmoney.club to sign up today. Hey,
Yes, commercials. Come on.
Hey, if you guys want to go through this 12-month roadmap where I show you how to go from, I pretty much, Tiara, I use the Robert Kiyosaki, even though I said I wasn't going to mention that motherfucker's name because he's a big time Trump supporter, but he does have this great concept of the cash flow quadrant, where he talks about going from being an employee to self-employed to business owner to investor, because obviously we all want at some point want to have our money make money for us. So the way the Grow Your Money Club works is it's a journey to get you from being an employee all the way to being an investor, to where you chilling. Your money making. I moved across the country, and I was gonna put on Facebook today, like, I've been on a 2-year vacation and I'm back to work, but I wouldn't have been able to take a 2-year vacation had I not put some things in place. I know a couple of things where I could help other people to be able to, kind of have that same lifestyle if they want to take a 2-year vacation.
Yeah.
Take a 2-year vacation.
Come on. Y'all better listen to this, lady. Y'all better listen. Y'all better go to the gym.
Yes.
Go to the grow your money.
Go to growyourmoney.club if you want to learn how to grow your money and not blow your money. Now, Tiara, so where do we go from here with everything that's going on? Because I just think that when you have one of the most powerful men in tech running companies like Tesla, SpaceX, and now Twitter, formerly known as X, and somehow his personal opinions on politics just keep turning into government policy. What happens? You got the death of DEI. DEI must die. Now we in attack against DEI. You got it's racist and what they're doing to my people in South Africa. Now we want to punish South Africa. Like, what in the world? What is happening? What's next?
What we know is that what's next is more of what's happening, right? Them figuring out ways to make money for themselves. It's not about, taking that $70 billion and putting it back or giving it back to the American people. I could see if that was the intention, but the intention is to make more money, have more control, to make sure that those 13 billionaires that are surrounded around Trump and their interests are satisfied, whatever their interests are. And, to restore what the vision of America was for them. Yeah. I mean, I dare to say that there is no plan. Like, I just don't believe that. I think that it'll be interesting. Yesterday we were talking about the tariffs and Trump saying, okay, these tariffs will be good for our country because then we can start things locally. We can basically service ourselves. People on the ground can create things. So I would just say this. Let's say that's true. Let's say this is about Americans being able to take the opportunities. That means there'll be grants, loans, something
Aren't they taking
available.
those away? Aren't they taking the grants and the loans away from the
Well, I'm talking about for the tariffs, right? So if it's to protect Americans, right? And they are encouraging Americans to create those things that we are getting from other countries, right? So, if that's the case, they're saying, okay, Americans, instead of us getting avocados from Mexico, we'll grow them right here on our soil. So Americans will profit from that. Let's just say that's what's really happening here with the tariffs and really trying to. So that means that there'll be things available for you to get in on this, right? If that's what it means. So I think we keep our eyes open, Google that shit, figure out ways to get in on what's happening so it can benefit you, if that is in fact
right.
what's
But Tiara,
happening.
that's what I'm saying is they're saying all of that while they're taking all of the grants away, while they're taking all the funding away. They're saying we want Americans to create the jobs and create the products and create the services and do everything and make it made in America, when you got these Americans that are trying to start these companies and they're trying to get these government subsidies like Elon Musk has, but they're taking them away. Elon Musk, he gets billions in government contracts. How much do you think he's going to get now that he has access to the system that gives out the contracts? But he's been fined for labor violations. He's been fined for racial discrimination. He's been fined for safety issues. And Trump is cutting the funding of the very agencies that regulate Elon Musk.
So my auntie just said, I told you, remember my auntie Veronica, who she worked for the federal government. She said he just rescinded the grant so you can apply now. So Black people, if you can apply now, I can't promise, because the biggest issue that a lot of times that I would hear from my auntie Veronica is that she had to be the person in there making the executive there saying, we're gonna accept this, we're gonna fund this company, they'll get this contract, because they weren't giving it to people that look like us. So she was the one in there saying, we want to give it to them because they look like
Veronica.
us.
Thank you for your service. I wish you were still there. But we need more advocates, obviously, there in those places and spaces, because when you look at government contracts, only 6% go to Black-owned businesses.
Yeah.
And you have 86% that go to white-owned businesses. So they were already getting the lion's share. And with us having these minority certifications and them saying, okay, we want to make sure that we have a certain percentage. Remember, I told you when I first came to DC, I went to the Chamber of Commerce, and 75% of the people there were Black. And I was like, is this the Black chamber? They were like, no, this is the chamber. I was like, shit. And so the mayor, Muriel Bowser, she was saying, we got $1 billion set aside for Black-owned businesses. And there was white people there. And I was like, they saying this in front of white people? They can actually say this? That's what I'm thinking, like, oh my God, it's like 25% white people in there. And they actually able to say that they got this money set aside for Black-owned businesses. Now they have $1 billion, but $1 billion wasn't going to Black-owned businesses, because a big lion's share portion of it was going towards these white-owned businesses, because you still have people that were your Auntie Veronica's counterparts that were giving them to white businesses, even though they were supposed to be, distributing them equally, or at least giving us, some kind of equity in those situations, and they didn't. And so now it's like, now you don't even have these reporting mechanisms in place to make sure that we get a little bit. What is that going to then do? Now, who do you think is going to get these government contracts? All the ones who kissed the ring.
Yep.
Because when they went to that, they all went to meet with Trump. Zuckerberg, Bezos, Walmart, and when they came back, they were singing a very different tune. Yeah. So he must have promised them something real good if they change their policies. Think about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I think those are the ones. I don't think it will trickle down to us, to be honest. I mean, there's some people saying, yes, it will. But I'm talking about we're going to get the crummy of a fraction of the crumb. If it trickles down to us, it's on accident, right? So we just, I think we just got to get creative. And if you think about it, Constance, I was going to say something about AI. And because Elon is so heavy or anti-regulation so that he can do whatever he wants, like, and it doesn't have to be regulated, he can say what he wants. They don't have to fact check. That all of these things, right? He can do whatever he wants in the sky, and nobody is regulating what he does or does not do. So I think that's important. And then with them regulating AI, obviously he has an AI company as well. So just like thinking about all the things, and can we talk about how even AI is programmed to be discriminatory? So if these companies are using AI as a mode to weed out or filter out who gets what, or even comes up for them, it won't be us, because they've been programmed to maybe like weed out certain people because our system is racist. And if we're teaching AI, we teach AI what to think and what to do. And so we're already a racist structure. So AI is going to be inherently racist, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's not going to take Tamika's and Tanisha's, and it's going to weed you out.
yep,
Tom,
yep,
Joe, Mark, Brian,
yep.
not Brian, but you know
No,
what I
not
mean.
Brian. Yeah, not Brian. If your middle name is Tyrone, and if it was if it was B Tyrone, you wouldn't be getting that job, Brian. But it's so funny because Brian keeps bringing up this whole gay thing. It's like y'all so worried about them. It's just like white people so worried about black people that we voting against our own best interest. You so
Yeah,
worried about these LGBT and one gender and all that shit that you will vote against your own best interest, in my
yeah,
opinion, Brian,
yeah.
just to keep them out. Yes, I don't share a lot of those principles. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah,
right now. I don't share it.
agreed.
Sierra don't share it. However, we are black first. We are
Right.
black agenda first. We're black minded first. So we're not saying, hey, everybody, come join us and join our fight in our plight. That's not what we're saying. We're saying, but we do need to look out for things that serve us, that benefit us. And if they got to get some benefit because of it, oh well. But let's look at us first. But
Yeah,
that's just like white people do. They voting against welfare and everything else. Why? Because they don't want black people to get it when they're the ones that need it the most.
yeah.
Like, don't be like the white people. That's what they do. But I was so Auntie Veronica said they filed a lawsuit against Elon Musk about an hour ago.
Yeah.
And so I went and looked it up, and I do see that some unions sued to block Musk's team from accessing the treasury payments. So, but you know what? Because they shut the servers down and everything. They probably got all the information they need. They don't need to come back. They got your information, my daddy, my mama, my cousin, my auntie, my brother, my sister, yours, and everybody else's too. They got what they needed in the time that they needed. So now they have access to everything. Doesn't mean they didn't come in there to siphon, to steal money. They came in there to siphon data. They got the data that they
want the
needed.
information.
They
Yeah.
got the data they needed. So what do they need to be up in there for?
Yeah. Did you see the thing I sent you about Elon wanting to build this like financial empire? Did you see that? Like him using X as a tool is just literally so he can have access to, he wants to make basically a like one-stop shop where you can do everything on Twitter. You can pay bills, you can support people, like support influencers, you can buy things, you literally can bank on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's partnered with Visa, right, to do this. And I just think that's so interesting that like it all, we're looking at the surface thing saying like, oh, Elon just wants to control our speech, and or whatever the perspective is,
He's
but it's
trying
such a
to get
long
that data.
game.
It's the
He's trying
data
to
he
get your
wants.
information. I took myself off of X a while ago. Or I took myself
Me
off
too,
Twitter
because
when
I
it was
tried to
still
log
Twitter.
on and they said your account does not exist.
Yeah. I'm still struggling with Facebook because I do like I would
Keeping up
keep
with
in
your
touch.
family. Yeah.
Yes, like that's the only reason. But I feel like there's a what do you think about boycotting spaces like Meta and Instagram and us
We
taking
should.
ourselves elsewhere? Yeah.
We should. I got on fan base just so I could say, let's
Yep.
go over there and let's support this black, but it's all over the place. It looks like an unorganized dating app. Not that they're dating people, but it just doesn't look like I couldn't understand it. And
Yeah.
maybe I got to spend more time with it. But I do believe that we need to download Fanbase, because that is a Black owned app, a social networking app where we can get on there and then, hopefully they'll get the funding that they need so that they can make it more efficient. But I couldn't make heads or tails of Fanbase when I went on there. But we do need to be looking at that too.
Well, we started Black Enough a while ago, and I don't know if it's still up and going, but it was pretty like functional in terms of there just wasn't enough Black people on it, right? Where there were people on it. You put it in the chat if you're on Black Enough. And it was cool. I mean, there are a group of people over there that believe B1, and but there's still not. It's
It's
not as
called
big.
B1.
Did he change the name of it? It's not
It's
Black
called
Enough anymore.
No, it's called B1 Nation.
It's called B1 Nation.
It's called B1 Nation. Yeah. It's called B1 Nation.
Okay, so they rebranded.
Yep.
B1 Nation.
Yep. Thank you. B1 Nation. B1nation.us.
B1nation.us.
Yeah, go to B1. Let me put that in the chat. B1 Nation.
So if we go
That's good.
maybe if we just gather on B1nation.us. You add me, I'll add you, and we can move our family members maybe over to that and support Dr. Boyce in that way. Support each other, because I think ultimately that's what it's going to be. Today we're talking about on Fly Nubian Money, which you should come right after this show. We go live at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. my time, PST, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. So we're talking about how now it has been announced and reported that Black people have $2 trillion in spending power. And to me,
I thought it was 1.7. What happened?
It was 1.7. We done messed around and made more money, y'all.
We spending more money. Are we making more money, or we spending more money?
We spending more money. We making more money because we spending more money. Something gotta happen. Right? So we making more money and spending more money, but we're only spending 2% of that with the Black community. And so we want to unpack that today. We have Constance on today. I think you're my lead today, Constance. So you bring Yes. And I thought she was a perfect person for this conversation. It's gonna be hot and heavy. I mean, I feel like this conversation is gonna go because we really need to really lock in, Constance.
Allocate our money to supporting us first. And that is the thing. I want you guys. So that's why repetition is the mother of all learning. Is because if we can repeat it enough for you, then finally you'll get it. So we're going to always talk about collective economics. What is collective economics? That's doing business with people who look like you. That's doing business in your communities. That's spending with your folks. Okay. That's each one teach one. That's why we do this. So I love the fact, and I'm a person, because I know somebody on here yesterday was like, Dr. Boyce, you guys are liberal. Dr. Boyce don't have those opinions. Well, guess what? We don't think everything the same. I don't have the 100% same thoughts as Tiara, and she's still my friend. I don't have the 100% same thoughts as Boyce, and he's still my friend. So we can all collaborate and have different ideas. Black people we are not a monolith, but it doesn't mean that we can't do business together. It doesn't mean that we can't spend with each other. It's okay that we have a bunch of leaders and everybody wants to be in charge, but let's still look at ourselves first, because that's what they do. We got to do the same thing. That's the only way we're going to get out of this.
I mean, don't buy the story. I talk about this story every day that we have clung on to. I don't know if that's a word, but we clung on to it. We take it and we hold it, and I don't work with Constance because I just don't like the way she do business. And every time, there's these things, like I don't do business with Black people, but what that does is it takes 2% is wild. 2% is crazy. Even if we went to made our way to 15 and then 25 and then 50, y'all want reparations, but I say almost every day at this point, if we could figure out how to
leverage
is the word. Thank you. If we could leverage that's our reparations. That and the internet together, to me, is the way we could.
Let's go. I love the way you think, Tiara. I love the way you think. If we could take our money along, coupled with the AI and the internet, they done fucked around and messed up the whole game. Y'all being on here right now.
Yeah.
We didn't have this kind of communication before, right? So they were able to keep us from each other. They were showing us the story. When you talk about the story being told here, the story that they told was that we were animals, we were savages, we needed them, just like the man that said that we need competent white men, we needed them, we couldn't lead ourselves, we didn't know anything, and then we started to believe it. I remember when I was young, my parents, my parents are from the South, they would tell these racist Black tropes, and they think it was funny. It's because this is what was, and my parents, I liken my parents, at least my dad's upbringing, to that of like slavery. Like he was like the way he lived was like a slave, right?
Yeah.
So they inherited that narrative of what they were taught. And then they would laugh. And then, I'm glad that when it came to at least me, and that shit got washed out, right?
Yeah.
I don't play that. I don't play that. But this is a story that's been told to us, is my point.
Yeah.
And the story that's been told to us, we have to change the story. Because y'all, when I get up every day and I do my prayer and meditation, I read my Project 369, I remind myself every day that I am the author of my story. I write the narrative of my life. Nobody else. Life don't just happen to me. I make my life happen. Yeah. And so when you realize that, Black people, is that we ain't, we're not just victims. We are victors, that we have control, that we can do better. That we deserve better. Yeah. If we have the belief that we deserve better, nobody can stop us. Look at what we've done with the oppression, the amount of oppression that we've had so far. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine if we really understood our power and we walked in it. Girl, they couldn't stop us. Let's go to the Black History video of the day. So, Tiara.
Is it going to be sad? Because you ain't prepping me for Mary Turner, and I almost fell apart. Like, is it going to be good?
No, it's going to be good. No, I'm not going to have the sad ones. No, listen, okay, a couple of things. So on TikTok, it was on TikTok, and somebody said somebody descended of Mary Turner. They were like, that was my great-great-grandfather and great-great-grandmother. And I was like, and they were like, and that's not a picture of her. I'm like, well, that's the picture that's on the internet. But anyway, and then somebody on Facebook said that was their great-great-great-grandparents too. So I didn't know that they had other children, which is interesting because I thought, she's 18. This was probably her first child, but they probably started having children early. So that's interesting that her descendants were there. They shared the video, but no, this is all about upliftment of Black people.
I mean, and I was uplifted. I just also wanted to go and slap somebody. So you got to prep me and say, Tiara, before we go to this video, you might want to slap somebody, like a warning, like a warning.
Yeah, the thing. Oh, I don't have it yet.
This is rated, whatever.
But the thing about it is, I think we really need to understand the brutality of our oppressors. Like, we really
just give me a warning. I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, what is this? I'm gonna be uplifted. I'm gonna be like,
you will be, but you know what? You don't have to give me a second because I thought I uploaded it yesterday, but I didn't. So hold on a second. Let's see.
All right. So how y'all feeling in the chat? Y'all all right while she uploading this? Y'all good? Okay,
Tiara, I want them to see. I want them to see the humanity of us and the brutality of them, because they always say that we are the savages. They, the narrative, when you talk about storytelling, the storytelling that's been told around the world is that, wait a minute, I hope that's not Mary Turner one, is that we are these like animals, that we are these savages. And that's not the case. And so it's been clear, like, you don't have any Native Americans. Where are they? Genocide. You know what I mean? Like, it's just been so much that have happened to Black folks that, and other communities at the hand of the colonizers, that we need to recognize them for who they are, and we need to stop taking up for these motherfuckers.
We definitely be taking up. We definitely be taking up for them.
We do.
Crazy. We really do. And it's obvious. I think that's the hard part. Do you think it's because some of us just aren't Googling, or we're not reading in between the lines, or is it? I think,
when you look at Malcolm X, and he talks about how Negroes have been brainwashed, and it's by design, right? Because if you look at the school system has really been designed to indoctrinate us, right? Mm-hmm. And so what did I learn? And when I talk about in my TED talk, like, I'm talking about how I learned that I was inferior from school. I didn't know. All I knew was Martin Luther King and slavery and the struggle of Black people. I didn't think I was powerful. So when you teach people that they're not powerful and that they're victims long enough, then they start to believe in the narrative of white supremacy. And that's then, you know, even back in slavery, you had Black people who were telling on the people who were trying to become free. When you think about,
there was always a spy. There was always a spy. There was always somebody internal that was willing to report.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, we have to, again, we got to keep telling these stories. We got to keep changing the narrative. We have to be the ones that tell our own stories, because when you think about it, he who wins the battle is the one who gets to write the story.
Yeah.
Right. And you look at American history, and I'm stalling right now, but when you look at American history, because I had to reduce the video too big. So when you think about American history, though, when you see, you know, American battles and wars, when they lose, it's a massacre. When they win, it's a victory, right? It's just that kind of language that, you know, historically that, you know, we've seen. And that's what white people do. And so to answer your question, Tiara, we as Black people have just really adopted that. And that's the unfortunate thing.
But that's not really our fault. Black people, like, conditioning is real, and they do it through, just be mindful of the things that we're consuming, not just food, but just like, because that's a whole nother thing, right? Food, you know, what's on television, what music you're listening to, all of that matters. You know, what things who you're listening to and how you're listening to it, how you're consuming it is ultimately going to control your mindset. And so y'all here obviously listening to us, so there's,
we appreciate
y'all
it.
Good.
Yeah, we appreciate it, because
for the other people out there, I don't know what
we care about you, and so we try to talk about things that matter. You see, it's processing. We try to talk about things that matter as Black people, and how can we move our race forward. And some people have said, like, oh, you're so racist, or because being pro-Black doesn't mean you're anti anything else. It means you are Black first and you care about your people, because they, guess what, care about their people. Yeah. And if you don't think so it's so funny because Brian talked about Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger was supposed to be a champion for women's rights, but she was really a eugenics person who believed in exterminating Black people. And those are the things. Those are, again, historically, those are the narratives that have been put out there, is that this is for you, but it's really against you. Yeah. So let's go ahead and look at this video.
Have y'all ever heard of the Black Potato King? Nah, seriously. There was a man who went from being enslaved to owning 500 acres of land, building a 22-room mansion, and becoming a millionaire. All from growing potatoes. And get this, his legacy even lives on in professional basketball. Let me tell you about Junius G. Groves. Junius G. Groves was born enslaved in Kentucky in 1859. After emancipation, he had very little formal education. He only had 3 months of school per year, but that didn't stop him. He taught himself how to read, how to write, and do math on his own. At just 19 years old, with only 90 cents to his name, he walked all the way to Kansas during the Exodus of 1879, looking for a fresh start. In 1880, he married Matilda E. Stewart, and together they built a legacy. They had 14 children, 12 whom survived into adulthood. At first, he worked as a sharecropper, but in 1884, he made his first land purchase. And guess what? He didn't stop there. By 1905, his farmland had grown to over 500 acres. And what made him rich? Potatoes. At one point, he was producing and shipping more potatoes than anyone else in the country, harvesting up to 72,000 bushels per year, earning him the title Potato King of the World. But Junius Groves wasn't just about farming. He was about Black economic power. With his success, he and Matilda built a 22-room mansion on their property. Yes, a Black man who was born enslaved built a mansion for his family. He also created businesses, grocery stores, and banks to serve the Black communities. His farm provides jobs for hundreds of Black workers, and he even helped build a school for Black children in Kansas. Groves believed in the power of land ownership and fought to help other Black families achieve wealth through farming. He passed away in 1925, but his story didn't end there. His legacy lives on, not just in the history books,
but even in professional basketball. Trent Lockett, an American pro basketball player, is a notable descendant of Junius Groves. Talk about generational greatness. Now, this is the kind of Black wealth story they didn't teach you in school. So, if you learn something new, drop a potato or a thumbs up in the comments and tag somebody who needs to know about the Black Potato King. How you feel about that? You feeling good? You feeling good?
I do. I like that. I never knew about the Potato King.
Yeah, he was the
Amazing.
first wealthiest Black family in the U.S.
That's
was Junius
amazing.
Groves, and he did it through potatoes, and he was enslaved, y'all. He was a former slave, and he was able to do that, beyond everything. Imagine the atrocities that he had to live through and build and Black economics, and that's the key. Because the stories that I'm going to be sharing with you guys over the next 22 more days or 20 whatever more days is that not only did these people do for themselves, but they always reach back for Black economic power, which is important. That's why the each one teach one is so important. That's why when you get information, it is imperative, y'all, that you share it with other Black people. Don't keep this stuff to yourself. Don't keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's why I also do the Net 7 Collective, is because I want to help Black women from all over the country to be able to build sustainable businesses. And I'm still taking people who are interested in the Net 7 Collective. If you are interested in being part of our community, me and Tiara's community, with dynamic Black women from all over the country who are building, sharing, growing, learning, and executing and building wealth, go to net7bbs.com and let's talk about it. Because, man, it's so much out here. There's so much information that you don't have access to that we just want to be able to share and give. All right. You got any final words? We're about to get off here so we can get back on and start talking about this $2 trillion in Black wealth, girl, because that's an important conversation that we're going to have in the next 55 minutes.
Yes. I'm gonna keep it. I keep thinking about Mr. Groves and him saying like him walking from Kentucky to Kansas.
Yeah.
That's a walk. It's like the level of strength that our ancestors had, the level of fight that they had. That's in us. That's
Man.
in our bones. That's in everything that we are literally from that. Like there was we don't know because we've been stripped. We don't know a lot of our ancestors in that way where we can just point to and say, my mother did this and this and this, but or my great 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 grandma did this. We can't point to that always, but it's I just know that they were special because we're still here
beautiful.
and we're strong and we're resilient. And so
Yeah.
I just want to encourage you, like, if when you don't feel like you have strength, or maybe you don't feel like you have ideas, or maybe you don't, I don't know. I don't know what the struggle is in this time for you, but just know that you're resilient and you are strong and you'll
We
figure it
stand
out.
on the shoulders of what? Giants.
Yeah. Yeah, you're amazing. You are amazing. We are amazing. And collectively, we are a beast. Like that is it. Like you always say what J. Edgar. I ask you every day what J. Edgar Hoover said. What did he say?
The biggest threat to America is Negro unity. They don't want to see y'all together. They don't want to see us together because they know that we are a threat to America. And what they think is we're going to do the same thing that they did to us, but we're not, because that's not
We're
who we
not,
are.
because
That
that's
ain't
not
in
who
us.
we are.
But
Yeah.
just the economic power that we have together as a people, as a race, is going to be. And I pray. I really pray that I live to see it. But if not, I'm grateful for the little bit of contribution that I have had, with some of the people that I have had. But and you guys just being here with us and you listening to us and also
Yes.
sharing
Yes.
This is
Yes.
Fly Nubian Money. This is Fly Nubian Queen. We're getting ready to start Fly Nubian Money, but make sure that you're subscribing to Fly Nubian Queen channel. Subscribe to Constance Carter. Follow me everywhere. I am Constance Carter. If you don't know, follow me there. Where can they find you, Miss Tiara?
I'm at Miss Black Hollywood across all major platforms. That's
Okay.
MSBLACK Hollywood. Or one thing that I want to say is my contribution outside of we're starting a Fly Nubian Money business directory. So if you have a business, y'all, go ahead and email me at info@realvirtual.net. That's info@realvirtual.net. I want to
Let me
know who
ask you
you are.
something. If they have what if they have a business and not a business? You're gonna help them get
Even
their
if you
business?
have a business,
Okay.
even if you have a business, we got a plan for you. Even if you have a business, go ahead and reach out to me and give me your information. I'm compiling this list so that if we ever need it. You know what happened last week, Constance? Somebody hit
Right.
me up and was like, hey, I need this. Do you have access to that? I was like, oh, as a matter of fact, somebody hit me up about that. So I made a connection between two people that I didn't even consider that that would be the thing. I was
I
like,
love
oh,
that.
yeah, somebody, and somebody was looking for a CPA. And I said, yeah, I know a CPA
Yeah, I've got a
up
couple
in
of them
a
on the show.
partner.
Yes,
Yes.
and Moya. Yes.
So we are definitely connecting people, and it's all love, y'all. So hit me
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. I love that. And then what else? What ain't you doing something this week?
The Fly Nubian Money Club, y'all. I'm starting all kind of Fly Nubian Money,
Let's go.
everything, right?
Let's go.
So the
This is
Fly
your
Nubian Money,
contribution too. This is your
this is
contribution.
my contribution. Yes. So listen, as you can see where we are with DEI and everything else, I thought the answer to that would be for us to start our own money club, our own investment club, where we have community. So this is what I'm committed to doing: bringing top experts in bi-weekly, giving you free giveaways, just information. So to this weekend, we have Vanessa Gopal coming in, who is going to teach us how to sell anything in your business. Because if your business does not sell, what is it?
I
Your
forgot.
if you do not sell, your business will
You
surely fail.
fail.
Is what it
Yes.
is.
I love
And
it.
so if you're not selling in your business and you need some strategies, we're going to do a 2-hour training that explains B2B, B2C, in face marketing, all the things, in face sales, interface sales, all of that. And so come through. We go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. I have a free trial for those that maybe having a hard time right now. So you ain't got no excuse, right? 30-day trial, sign up, come learn so we can get your money right. We can get you
Yeah.
going.
I'm so glad that you're doing that. And I was gonna do a training on that week too. And then we discovered last week here that no, they overlap. I want to be a part of that training because I want to actually, you can never get to a place where you've arrived where you cannot learn anything new. And so I plan to learn some new techniques on that training, but I'm also having a training on how to bring your idea to life because I want to help people to go from ideation to monetization. Y'all, you guys might have ideas that you had. How many of you guys had ideas that you sat on, or you had an idea, but then you did nothing with it, and then you saw somebody else do it, and they were very successful, and they were making money. That is us. A lot of us suffer from analysis paralysis. They think and they think and they think and they don't do. Well, you got me to not only show you how to bring it into fruition, but I'm gonna push you, I'm gonna coach you, and I'm gonna help you bring your idea to life. Now, this is a $997 training, but I have a coupon. If you go to thinkbuildmonetize.com and put in the code BBS, you can get this 2-day training. You're going to be 2 days live with me. Now, y'all know I charge $500 a person per hour. You get 2 days, 2 full days with me for only $397. And I'm helping you bring a business idea. So you're going to walk away with an actual full business, Tiara.
Yes.
A full business that you can monetize. You need to do something ASAP. And listen,
let me just say, I just want to brag on my sis for a second. Listen, y'all, I've worked with celebrities. I have worked in Hollywood for the last 19 years. I've been in the entertainment industry for about 25 years, which is basically all my life because I'm 27. One thing that I know, I joined at 7 to work with Constance because I realized that sis got something. I have a very service oriented business. Like I work hands on with people. That's just what I do. But I was like, you know what? I want to do something else this year. So I'm gonna come and listen to my sis, who I know has done it and lived it and walked things out, and I'm gonna listen. I'm not gonna be like, well, I know, because like you said, you don't know everything. And we learn so much, I think, from one another and inspire each other so often. Even with Constance, with my other Fly Nubian queens, we just inspire one another. So I'm never above
real.
listening and hearing. When I come into our meetings, I think our next meeting is tomorrow. So if you want to join, you should join.
Yes, come on in.
Our next meeting is tomorrow. I come in with a clean, I don't come in because I joke. I did stand up for a little while, so I come in joke, but I don't come in and joke there. I just be like, I'm listening. I'm there to listen. I'm not too familiar. I'm like, I want to learn from the coach. So
Thank you. And that's the thing too. When I sat down, and we're gonna go, but when I sat down and I prayed about my next iteration and what my purpose was in this iteration of my life and who I wanted to serve, it's women who want to serve like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm so grateful that I attracted women from all over the country with the servant's heart, who not only are successful in their own rights, but want to help other people. That right there, girl, when I tell you I could die and go to heaven and be happy today, I would die and be happy. And that's what's living your life in purpose, on purpose, and in alignment. Let's go. We're gonna see you in 45 minutes. We love you. We're gonna see you tomorrow, same time, same bat channel. And then we're gonna also see you in about 45 minutes on the Fly Nubian